Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's transformation reading, where we look at one of the cards from this deck that I'm co-creating with the creator. And we take this first stack of 7 stacks and just see what emotion the creator would like us to look at converting from this uncomfortable fear-based emotion into one of unconditional love, joy, peace, laughter, our true essence of who we are. So we'll go ahead and jump in here and see which of the emotions the creator would like us to look at this week. And this is always just information for us. I love the guidance that we get, because we're never forced to change anything in our lives, because we come here to experience things, right? We come here to experience the opposites of who we really are. We are these powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit beings made of unconditional love. And we come here to experience what it feels like to be small, what it feels like to be lonely or alone or separated, instead of being a part of this beautiful, sea of unconditional love, just the sea of souls that are there on the other side, loving each other without condition. And a wonderful awareness that came to me this last week, which I'll share before I jump in here, just a quick bunny trail, is that on that side, on the other side where we come from, there isn't this knowledge of worth, because everyone is worthy, so we don't even know what unworthiness is. And that's when we come here to this world, our whole journey has to do with our worth, right? So we come here and we experience what it might feel like to be unworthy. And then understand what worth is. And then we go back to the other side when we're done with our life, and we're like, wow, having experienced unworthiness, we understand what worth is. And life, an example that in this book that I'm reading, and it's where they're channeling some beautiful beings of unconditional love and light on the other side, and they're like, life is like a math class. Does the professor put this hard problem on the board to make you, realize how stupid you are because you don't, know how to do that formula? No, they put a formula on the board to bring about the questioning within us, to look at how to solve the problem. And if we're unsure of how to do it, the professor shows us how to solve the problem and how to get to the result of this inquiry. And that's what this life is about. And it just brings this whole, feeling of it's happening for us to teach us, not happening to us for punishment. I made you take this math class because we want to make you feel stupid. It's like, nope. We're here to learn and to grow. So I felt urged to talk to you about that. So we'll see what else the creator would like us to look at. Okay. And we're going to look at this one here, which is despair. And we, of course, have all experienced this beautiful emotion at some point in our lives. If not, buckle up, Buttercup, because this is part of the beautiful, ways that we feel before we begin to really open up our life, when we get almost exhausted and we come to this point where we're just like, like it says, in despair, and we feel hopeless. We feel like there's no solution, and I'm just going to lay down and die, in a way. But what I love is what the creator shows here. It shows this, all these bars with this cage that we put ourselves in and find the door. And so all these bars that are created are ones that we actually put in front of us. Everyone in this life, we're given all these opinions, all these supposed tos and shoulds and need tos and have tos in our life, and we take them on because that is our power, what we're going to choose to do in our lives. And so our human mind creates these through the, fight and flight between praise and punishment. And so, someone says, oh, don't do that because people are going to hate you. You're like, ooh, I'm going to put that bar up. I have to stay within this boundary. And then you see, oh, look, those people are praised and loved and given things because they do that. Okay, I'm going to put that bar. This is who I need to become too. And so through all those, we get all these bars that we put up in front of us and start boxing ourselves in. And that's when we feel constricted and we feel all that conditional love and all those conditions of acceptance just kind of weigh us down and, like I said, box us in. But we find the door. We actually look at, if we turn around, we see that not only we're not caged in, but that we can just walk out. There's not even a door, like a locked door behind us. It's just this opening of a door. And we're like, well, in our mind, we've been taught, well, we have to stay within this. And so we think that there's this lock and it's locked in and we can't get out, when really there's not even a door to lock. We can just turn around and there's this huge opening, which is the unconditional love of the creator of all things that they have for us. So, when we are able to look inward away from all those external, prison bars that we put up for ourselves, that's where we find true freedom. That's where we find, this, the undespair, the anti-despair. And what is the opposite of despair? Hope, right? We find that there's this hope. And that when we realize, like I was talking about before, that life isn't happening to us, life is happening for us. All these things that we feel are suppressing us and making us feel smaller are designed to disappoint us. That external world is disappointing, right? All these bars usually have to depend on how people think about us or who we're with, what situations we're in, or what we own or possess. And we all know people's opinions fluctuate like the weather every day and every season. Depends on what's going on. One day we're the best thing since sliced bread, and the next day we're the devil to them. And that's how much it can fluctuate. Or if it's someone that just treats us so beautifully and wonderfully and always supportive, I always hear about this, grandparent that was such a comfort and stuff, and they die, and because everyone does. People will eventually pass away as well. And situations, of course, never stay the same. And things, break, deteriorate, are stolen, or burn down, or burn up. And so all those things, if we're basing our acceptance and love on those conditions, conditional love, we're going to get disappointed in our self-worth, like I was talking about, our worth here on this planet, when we depend on defining it by those external things as unstable and ever-changing. We're like, well, how's my worth in this moment? Well, I don't know if you want to know, But when we're so disappointed and in despair with those external things, it's actually a time to celebrate, because it's a time we're actually able to let go. Kind of look at this. There's a card in the tarot called the Ten of Swords, and it's when all of our external beliefs are so overwhelming that we just feel like in we're despair. And the picture on a lot of them is someone laying down, face down in the dirt with all these 10 swords stuck in their back. And it's all those beliefs that we had in the outside world that have stabbed us in the back and disappointed us and betrayed us. You were supposed to make me feel whole and complete and lovable, but you let me down. And that's the place we get to this despair, where we eventually go, you know what? I'm going to look in here, and because all those things point us inward to where we find the love we've been looking for all along. We find the acceptance we've been looking for all along. It's an unconditional love and an unconditional acceptance, and it comes from our Creator, the Mother and Father of all things. So this week as we look at the despair that could be in our lives, either we've experienced in the past, we can go back and reflect on it, or if you're currently in despair, it's something that you can look at and take this as a invitation from the Creator to tap into the love, the unconditional love that they have for you. And if you haven't had despair yet, it's good just to be able to connect to that now. And you can even avoid despair if you connect to that and make the center of your worth the unconditional love of the Creator of all things. Because, hey, if the Queen and King of the kingdom love you unconditionally, what else do you need? Right? As you go throughout this week, just know you are indeed loved unconditionally by the Creator of all things, and I love you too. We'll talk to you soon. You take care.